Yep.
Welcome back, everybody. You are at the third episode? Sicilian Queens with Eolo-Paolo Bottaro. Maestro. I always call you Maestro, always, because you are our modern day Maestro.
Magic in the hand. It's all in the hands. It's all in the hands.
So we're going to talk again about Iside, and then we'll go into what you were doing with the Essendon Fields project.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, I always like the Maestro title because I first heard it in Sicily, actually. And people would come in and go, "Oh, Maestro," and I'd be like, "Oh, wow." He was sort of not used to that within Australia.
Or they call you Garble.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on about Iside, how Giovanni helped you. Did he help you with it?
Yeah, look, I was again connected to the Sicilian house from the last episode. The caretaker of the Sicilian house when the Polizzi aren't there is Giovanni and Maria Orlando and Colletta, I think.
Colletta.
And
Giovanni.
Look, I was taken. You have to understand, I wasn't in my own town, like I wasn't in Cormaso or Siracusa where I had connection. I'd gone to in the middle of the Madonie mountains to a place where I literally knew no one. So what was integral to me feeling comfortable within the place as well to be able to create, because to be able to create, you've got to be comfortable. You know, you can't, if you feel uncomfortable somewhere, nothing's going to come out. I was extremely fortunate that this couple, Pino and Maria, I call them,
very hospitable people.
Just basically became their surrogate sort of son, you know, for that period. And they had a bit of a tragedy in their life where they lost a son, and you know, that all unveiled and stuff like that. But you know, and today we speak to each other every second day, basically. In fact, I told them to watch live because I thought this was going. But it's
we were live.
So, chi sei australiano che ancora non capisce niente.
Chi sta combinando? Chi Maestro sta combinando? Chi tu dà?
Like I said, everybody played a part and everybody was integral, even from the ceramicist that I met in the town, the metal guy who did the inner structure, even the guy that would come in and I would pay him €1 to give me a cigarette because I like smoking, but I don't like smoking. And I thought, you know what, every once in a while I want a cigarette. And I gave him €1 and he would just roll me a cigarette and he would visit the studio nearly every day. And I said, I don't want it every day. But, you know what I mean? Like everyone, even though like I'm making the comparisons to the surrogate like parents to the, you know, the guy who came in and obviously during 8 months of having an open studio, the characters that I met and that came in.
Oh, you could write a book on that now.
There was a fly on that wall and I could film that. It would make an amazing movie. Even the conversations are, because once the confidence is there and the trust, and you know, I'm working away. I'm not at that instant. I'm not really a human where I judge or anything. I work away, and they come. I guess it's like the barber or something like that, or the hairdresser, where you and yeah.
They tell you everything. You became their psychologist.
Pretty much. At one point, it was like, we had some, but I had amazing mangiate in campagna with Pino and friends, and you know, I made sure at the same time of her creation that I was gonna absorb
Enjoy
everything.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I had a car that was capable of going in Campania, and so I did that. I had a motorcycle there, and I know that region. I know that region very well. Like I'm so fortunate to have fallen in the Madonie, and they'll always be special. You know, I nearly bloody bought it down, and then I sort of said, because I want to buy everywhere in Sicily. Everywhere I go, yeah. So, yeah. What else can I tell you? I heard when I eventually colour the statue, because you go through a process of colouring, because I am a painter by trade, not a house painter, a picture painter. I went searching for the colours on big walks that would take, a whole day. I would dedicate myself to a day and say, I'm going to find her palette because she is from the Madonie. And so I would walk through and I would pick stones and pluck leaves and take photos. And luckily a lot of this, or some of it, is recorded because Claudio was like my shadow. Like I had to tell him what I was doing. And sometimes I didn't, and he'd get angry because I said, Claudio, sometimes I got to not have you sticking a camera in between my cosci. You know what I mean? So I, you need a bit of just wandering around, and so that was another thing onto itself, and I have to say the strongest emotionally driven thing were the kids. I had packs of kids that would come in, make things. They'd even make love hearts and put Eolo in the middle of it, and these are the kids that we don't see today. We don't see them today in the because they don't get to roam the streets and that. In Preston we used to roam a little bit, but
yes, we did.
And there are many eyes, and they have the main piazza where everyone congregates to, and these packs, and they'd go. The classic thing was like, the mums would ring up because it was time to eat, and they go, "Oh, scusa, Eolo, devo andare a mangiare la mamma," and they'd go, "Where are you?" The mum, you could hear the mum go, "Dove sei?" And they'd be like, "Oh, we're at Eolo." Everyone was like at Eolo. They're like, "Oh, I'm at Eolo every day," and I was like,
"Va bene."
So that was heartwarming, because now I see those kids starting to grow up, because I am friends with them on social media and that, and they all keep in contact. All of them.
Great.
It's insane.
When I went to Polizzi, even the local pastry, the pasticceria, had made cakes from Iside.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's me involving everyone. I came up with the idea of doing the polvere, the icing sugar, with the tre, and the day we did it, and we've got that on film too, we lifted it, and there she was. Oh my God. It was just
so tell me, has tourism increased because of your statue? Did you give that place life?
Oh, I can't say
another area of life, another layer of life.
I think on a very small scale, because it is out of the way of town, and that. Look, I know many people personally that I know that have been, like Carmela. There's my cousins, and everyone's driven through the town. So I can say yes. But it's never going to be on this grand scale, because.
It's not. It's not her time.
I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there just to see her.
She's still
in birth. If you go there,
she's still in birth mode. It takes a while for this to come into fruition. But the people who are listening to this video and this episode, where can they find her? Where is she?
Well, she's in the archaeological museum of the museum where I found her when she was non-existent as an image. So that was my aim. She had to go back there. And that wasn't easy to convince the comune and all that. Like, I was starting to rompere palle,
I love how the Sicilian comes out of you just ever so slightly.
Well, because they were like, I wish, this Eolo is going to just go with the next gust of wind. Yeah. But yeah, I managed to also document that she would have to go into the museum, because exactly what you said, Carmela, she's still being born. And she could take a decade to be born. Yeah. That's fine. That's not my job was to create, walk away, and let it do what it has to do.
Whatever it has to do. A lot of people today, they think, I'll do that and it's going to create this thing, where people are hundreds of thousands. It's not its time. It's not her time.
Evolution.
She's still in a birthing stage. It's like she will call the people who, like she called me. Like I found her.
I had some very amazing conversations with people online, because I was quite good with the social media of it and everything. And, and when I had the meeting with the priest of the town, he said, Eolo, you're doing an amazing thing, blah, blah, blah. He's in the documentary too explaining it. But he said to me, he goes, as long as she doesn't do a procession. And I went, I said, I have no intention to do, but I thought that was amazing. They could even have that in his mind. But because they are still, like, there's that pagan side of, Santa Agatha and bloody Santa, who is it of Polizzi?
They've of Polizzi is.
I'll Google it.
Oh my God, no, don't Google it, Lina. I should know this 100%. Oh my God, everyone's got the name. Like everyone in the town, if you yell out the name, they all turn around. Anyway, I'm having a mind.
They've all got the same name, like in Balem or Santa Rosalia.
Yeah, that's right. It is, Lina.
Aspetta. It's...
my mind.
Doesn't say.
Not bad.
That's
San Gandolfo?
Gandolfo. Bloody Gandolfo. Everyone's Gandolfo in Polizzi. Anyway, San Gandolfo. Like, they have the procession for him and that. And anyway, that's what the priest said to me in private. He said, I said, look, in the future, if somebody wants to have an Iside festival, that's up to them. But I have no intention of parading her through the streets. Like, we're not living in Hellenistic times or anything like that.
I just got a vision of her in the street and all these women dressed up in these, Hellenistic, Hellenic robes and dancing with vines and food and berries and vino and grapes. That's how I picture her in the street. Maybe we should start our own festa.
Look, Sicily is a place of festas, and sometimes, she does. She is very strong, I believe, for the feminine sort of side of things, what she represents and so forth. She is the protagonist. She holds the other two. So, so there's something, my belief is there's something very, very, very strongly connected to
what
female.
Did she teach you when you finished? What was it that what gift did she leave you?
Jeez. Well, she definitely proved more than teaching that no hesitation in, don't have any hesitation in following, even though I've done that my whole life. But she definitely took it to one step higher, which then leads to Essendon. Completely have, I'm not sure if the right word is faith or belief, possibly is better, in not even yourself, have belief in the drive, I guess. The drive, it's not
like
about
that belief, not in but in the drive, Okay, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, it's definitely not about self.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now we're gonna are we almost time, Carmela?
Yeah, I think we can talk about the Essendon project now.
Yeah, I think, let's talk about the big
Well,
one.
Well, yeah. Essendon evolves from obviously that confidence of sculpture, where I do midway. The statue has to dry after I've sculpted her. She gets gutted internally, which you see on that footage that you guys shared, and she has to sit and dry for 3 months. And in those 3 months, I return to Australia because I'm actually summoned back to do some fresco work for Essendon. And during the time that I'm at Essendon,
okay, let's go. Sorry, can we explain what Essendon is and where it is? Not just and then we have to stop and start the project at the next episode.
Okay.
So perhaps let's do a little bit of a teaser of what Essendon is, and then we'll start talking about the journey after that in the next episode. So where is Essendon and what is it? What is the project?
Yeah, well, Essendon is in between. Where is it? In between. It's on the way to Tullamarine, on the way to the airport. It's a pocket of Melbourne that has been turned over the years. I think Lindsay Fox has a lease on it, and it's been turned into a bit of a hub at the moment, a bit of a commercial hub, but there's a hotel there and so forth. So it's a little bit of a precinct, and it can go several ways. It's a place evolving that was kind of left dormant for
the aviation industry. Yeah, for the aviation industry, the light plane industry. And now you've got pockets of cars that are on for sale, like got car yards there, all the ones from Keilor Road and Idri moved over there. You've got Lamana.
Right.
You've got, so it's like a little community, commercial community within a community. There aren't any residential areas there, but there is the Hyatt, the hotel. So that's primarily there for people that come in from interstate or overseas. So
that's
your particular project, so you've got some alfresco scattered around the Hyatt, the Park Hyatt, because I've been fortunate enough to see them.
Yeah, we did it.
So they approached you. Did they approach you and say, "We've got an idea, we need a sculpture," or did you go to them?
No, look. Initially, I'd already had a relationship with one of the managers of Essendon, and so there was already a relationship there. But they initially proposed a large painting, which was my first real job with Essendon. After that was executed and was really successful and possibly went beyond their expectations. Then later, no, they didn't propose a sculpture. I did. So
she gave you the courage to do that, because if you'd not done Iside, you would not have been able to do this. This is mammoth. Yeah. For anyone who's never seen what you've done, it is huge.
That's right. Whilst I was in Polizzi, this was fermenting, because then I did my 3 months there. I did a little bit of groundwork to plant a seed of doing a sculpture within this space, and it hit the mark. It hit something. One of the patrons understood, and so did one of the managers. And the trust was already there, and the conviction. My ability to focus solely on a project and go pretty intensely into it. But this one was, again, one step higher than Iside. Not on an emotional level and connected to Sicily, stuff like that, but on a technical level, we could say this time. I really stepped up on a technical level and did something that I don't think that I could even imagine that I could have done.
Right, so maybe we'll stop this episode here, and then
You want to close, Dal?
Yeah, I want to say I'm just overwhelmed by your journey and also how intuitively you were guided, and I can't imagine what it's like to put something from scratch together like you do from using your bare hands, because you see you feel, you create, and then you draw people in to have a look at the story of the object that you're doing. It's not about you. You grow and evolve through that journey of that creation, but you're intuitively guided by the creation and the person. So it's like watching a movie or perhaps creating some theatre. And at the end of the day, she is the end result that you leave part of her, you leave her behind to create something else. So you in this evolution of creativity to share and to give.
Yeah, it's
So
almost
Sicilian
like,
of you. So Sicilian of you.
Thank you, Lina. It's really, really sweet. And it's, to me, the pieces at some point reject me. They sort of push me away. And that's when I have to walk, you know what I mean? Like, it's there, it's now, and even I go back and visit, and I'm detached. I'm not present anymore in the creation. It doesn't feel like I created it anymore, which then allows me to create again.
Yeah. If you're not detached, you detach.
It's like a musician scribing a song about an old love or a current love, and it's like in that moment he's with her and she's with him, but that's what this story represents, and that's the creation of that lyric or that melody. That's what you do with your artwork. Okay, I think we can go on for hours.
We'll just finish this episode then.
Okay.
Thank you to those who are listening. Thank you, Eolo. Thank you, Lina. Thank you to our amici close in Melbourne, in Australia, and to those lontano. We're never lontano, because you can take the Sicilian out of Sicily, but you can't take Sicily out of the Sicilian, can you?
No, never, ever. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.